So this is a video going over this 1986 half-ton Chevy Suburban. It's four-wheel drive, of course. We just bought it yesterday, actually, and so this will be the first video of many, hopefully, that will be going over and documenting the build that we're doing on it. And so I'll just do a quick walk around and go from there. But let's start the tour. So this is an 86, so last year of the carbureted as a 350 with a carb, like you just said, sorry. And it is bone stock. These are 235 75 15s tires, just super original. Still has the running board, just a lot of stuff on here is probably going to be changed, but we're hoping we're just going to keep the suspension stock and put a 33 on it and make a mild overland vehicle. This thing is four-wheel drive, of course, has manually locking hubs. It's been converted over. It came with automatic hubs when I was reading the RPOs today. But the paint's all right. I mean, there's some dents, there's some dings. I'm not positive. It looks like it may be a repaint. I'm not sure. I'd have to look closer. But these little tires are definitely going to go. And we're just going to make, overland build out of it. We're actually going to do this initial build in a day or two or three, somewhere around there. So we're going to do all the mechanicals. And shocks, tires, and get it ready to go. And then we'll probably just either throw a platform in the back or just a mattress. And I don't think I ever mentioned this, but so my dad and I are partners in this, actually. So we're going to go on a overland trip is what we're planning in the 86 Burb. Just because I love these old square bodies, and where we're going, it's going to be fine on stock suspension. Here's the interior on this thing. Dashboard, just regular cracks, but actually not awful. Seen worse. There's some little stuff I want to do. Find the Chevy emblem. I actually have this trim piece in the back. With the handle. That one still is there. Interior is in pretty good shape. We're not going to really change much in the interior. Headliner sagging, we might do something. There's rips. I mean, it's an 86 Suburban, but really rust free and plenty of room for sleeping. But it's an automatic. 39,000 on the clock, and the guy that I got it from, he bought it with, I want to say 90,000, so it's turned over. So this is 140 is what I'm thinking, and it runs really well. He drove this thing a lot, actually, and just a good solid base. Alright, so we're here working on the 86 Suburban that hopefully we're going to take out tomorrow for the maiden voyage. But we're doing fluids right now, changed all the fluids, and then I was doing air filter. This thing's seen better days, so it's going out of here. In with the new. But, I mean, this is just normal air filter, nothing fancy. But what's cool about this is the price. It was $2.38 for this air filter. Now there's nicer air filters, I'm sure, but for $2.38, how can you pass this one up? And not only was it cheap, it was in stock, and they had two different styles. So 1986 GM parts. Even an 86 vehicle, you're still going to get parts anywhere you go in America. We live in a pretty small town in Idaho, so if we have it, then a lot of other places will too. All right, so we've been hard at work here, trying to get ready for our trip. We put these tires on, 285/75 16s, and this is a stock suspension, so it does sit a little low, but it'll be all right for us for now. We might do a lift later or something. But I wanted to do a quick video of what we take off. So there's like this air dam piece underneath the bumper we take off. This thing had running boards. We took those off. Had these giant mud flaps. Took that off. And then the exhaust on this was pretty thrashed, so we had to replace it. So from the cap back is all new piping, and then the new Flowmaster Delta 50. And then out here I kind of set out. So this is all the stuff we stripped off. So we had, old muffler, just rotted out, just hanging there. And then these are like mud flaps. This was the air dam piece, and those are the big old running boards. So we call it, I don't know, like sanitizing the vehicle pretty much, where you just strip it down to, least amount as possible. Get rid of most, running boards, and get back to the basics. But it definitely helps out with, clearance on the side, and I just like the look of it better too. And then here's the tires that were on this thing. Stock size for older Suburbans, believe it or not, are 235/75 15s. I think it's roughly a 28 or 29 inch, very small. And then these are just, the stock wheels that came on it with the beauty rings. So I may use these, and paint them black or something, and throw a different tire. We'll see, but for now we're just going to leave it. I had these tires and wheels laying around, and they look good, I think. All right, so it's the day of our trip, hopefully here. We can take off tonight. And I'm doing, some last minute checks, fluid levels, going around and doing that. So right now I'm doing the transmission. So to check a transmission on these GM vehicles, it's like many, full-size vehicles, but you have to get them hot. They do have a cold section to check on the dipstick, but I don't think these older ones do. Let's see if we can see that. So at the end section of the dipstick, sometimes it'll have like, cold mark, and that'll be, when you just started the car up, and it's not the best way to check. The best way to check is get it up at operating temps. So drive it around for a while, shift through all the gears, and then come back, park at a level spot, and then shift so the vehicle stopped, you're in park, bring it down to drive, second, first, run through the gears and go into reverse, and then go back into park, let it sit there for a second, and then pull the dipstick and check. And that's the correct way to check your transmission fluid. Not many people check it, just because it is a process, and so it's probably the most neglected major drivetrain issue, I would say, on vehicles just in general. And so it's really a good thing to check, because, for example, this thing, I don't know how many years it's been sitting. It could have a minor leak, and so we dropped the pan and did a drain infill, and the pan was probably a quart or 2 quarts low, and so that's what I'm doing right now. is I'm checking in the morning before I take off, and I'm topping it off. Another thing to keep in mind, so if you see there it says add 1 pint right from right there. On transmission dipsticks, it's a lot different than engine oil dipsticks. Engine oil, if it's at the bottom, usually when it says add on an engine oil dipstick, it'll mean at least a quart. Transmissions are less, and so it's really easy to overfill them. And actually this pint, anyway, sometimes it's not correct too. So you just kind of start small, so just add a little bit at a time, because you don't want to overfill, and then use correct fluids. This is an older vehicle, so we're going to, Dex 3. This is a Valvoline. We always use Valvoline for actually all of our oils, but anyway, that's how you check. Just be careful with the dipstick. And then to fill, that's the transmission where the dipstick goes right there. So you have to get a good funnel like this. This is just something I think I bought at Walmart or something years ago, and it fits right into the dipstick on these GMs. This is kind of a chore if you're just like on the road, you know what I mean? And so it's best to do a pre-trip, because you don't want to be doing this like in the middle of nowhere. But I've already checked it, and I'm just going to add probably half a quart right here. And so you just kind of slowly go in, and that was probably a quarter of a quart, but I think that's going to be enough. And then I'll take out the funnel, check again, and we'll go on, and I'll start checking other fluids. Alright, so that was the transmission fluid. I don't know if I mentioned, but you have to have the car running as you're doing the transmission fluid. That's the only fluid that you check while the car is running. All the rest, you just check with it off.
Editing this thing up this morning, this video, and I realized that there's a lot of footage. So it'll be 2 parts. This is the first part where we went over the initial kind of before, did pictures of that, and then went over like tires and stuff. And then the next video will go more over fluids, and I think we changed the belts and stuff like that. So it'll be a 2-part video, and this is the first part. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll probably post it pretty soon here after. And then we have some off-road videos and like the actual trip of the vehicle, and so stay tuned for that. Thanks, and subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff.